Good morning, everyone. To move forward. This morning, I'd like to talk to you about the Valiant experience, some of the learnings we had, and clearly it's been an experience over the last years in becoming a smarter and quicker pharmaceutical company. Valiant has progressed rapidly over the past years. We've moved from a mostly generic company. We were approximately $15 million of sales. We were averse to any form of risk. We were taking our time. We were looking long time towards the future, and we were governed. Basically, we were managed by Mr. Milan Panic, who started up the company in the early 1960s, and basically we're moving forward gradually. Valiant has become. Now we've basically become a company which is approximately over $200 million. This year we're going to be in the range of $250 million. We've basically multiplied our sales by over tenfold, and we've become much more dynamic, aggressive, and I hope we've become a lot smarter. Over the past years, we've been challenged to move forward aggressively. It's okay to make mistakes on occasion as long as we learn from them. We clearly communicated our goals internally and externally. We created structures and processes to accelerate decision-making. And most importantly, we have support and direction from the top. Without the chairman, CEO emphasis on the change, this change would not be positive. Essentially, a few years ago, we had a new person step in from McKinsey & Co. to take over as a chairman, and all of our processes were modified significantly. And we were basically forced to become faster and smarter. We had to get rid of many steps, and normally we would have just continued on in the paradigm which we had adopted, but now we had to make that significant change. We completed deals, we streamlined functions, we became much faster in terms of decision making, and there was a lot of support for continued investment in Canada. In the past, it was Europe and US, and Canada was basically out of the picture. Now Canada has become a major player. As I mentioned, McKinsey stepped in. The problems were identified on a global basis, and they're basically experts in problem solving. So as I said, what is the problem with Valiant? Well, there's limited growth potential. There's no pipeline. Business decisions were being questioned. They weren't the right decisions. A lot of people with questionable performance were still on board. There was a lack of sense of urgency. We had a risk-averse mentality, and there was a lot of inappropriate spend in research and development. It was felt that there was multiple layers to decision-making, so we had to cut that out and be able to make decisions very quickly, because normally be months. Now the question is basically, can you do it now? Why is it not being done now, tomorrow, and so on? The plan to accelerate the change was the following. It was simplification, stabilization, and then growth. What actually happened is all three of these were merged into one. We were simplifying, we were trying to get stabilized, and we were being pushed to grow at the same time. So there's no patience to wait for change. And this lack of patience has pushed us forward, has accelerated our pace significantly at Valiant. The transition was not easy, and employees are realizing that it's clearly the right strategy to grow. However, if you're not on the train, you're off. So it's a selection process. If people aren't very energetic, if people aren't dynamic, if people aren't forward-looking, you better not be part of the team, you're off. So that's our reality. The best of class spend levels were determined for every category of business, and those were targeted, and we had to reach them very quickly. Businesses that were not part of our focus were basically sold off. So in summary, to become smarter and faster, we needed top management direction and focus. We needed the right people, right focus, and right philosophy. It was not easy because throughout change there's a lot of ambiguity, and we needed to get buy-in by all. But I think our attitude has now changed into we are capable, we can achieve, and everything is possible. So first of all, Having the right people is critical because a lot of people resist change. A lot of people aren't forward thinking and strategic. So the question is, how do you get the right people on your team? And there's a lot of thoughts. Human resources is extremely important, and people making decisions are very important. The people also have to learn that they have to take on more responsibilities, that there's a lot of promotion of teamwork, that there's pay for performance. So if you perform, there's excellent pay, you can rest assured. Continued exposure to new opportunities and lots of people on special projects. So you need high energy leaders. You actually have to hire the leaders that will lead you towards the future. The focus has to be clearly defined. It must be communicated and understood by all. So there has to be a constant attention to opportunities, a delivery on promises with partners. We have to identify opportunities where synergies can be achieved, and then build and then deliver those synergies. You can see that Valiant. A lot of people noticed that Valiant this morning announced that there was a bid for Cephalon. We're always on the move. We have so many deals going on at the same time. You can say it's quite exhilarating to work for Valiant. Exhilarating is a nice word. The management philosophy has to be communicated clearly. Each region is responsible for their success. So Canada has to get their deals, move forward, and we're really responsible to bring up the opportunities and get the buy-in from corporate. There's a lot of decentralized decision-making with top management, limited layers of management, simplification of all the processes. They were lean, financial, metric-driven, and connected to facts. Essentially, to grow, the growth strategy has to be well-defined. There has to be a bias towards risk-taking. You have to have a culture which is driven to succeed in a performance-based culture. You have to be connected to the facts. It has to be lean, financial, metric-driven. There has to be teamwork and cross-fertilization, learning organization, top management, alignment and focus, simplification of processes, and bias to speed of decision and to select the right people, and I put a lot of emphasis on that. So, to be a smarter, faster, you have to be quick-paced, lean, flexible, forward-looking, growing, confident, outside zone of comfort, and adapting to thrive. Thank you very much.